episode 18.
Woohoo! Number 18. Yeah.
Another celebration, at least for Swedish standards, because 18 is when you turn adult, I guess you could say.
I think here in the U.S. you're considered an adult.
Yeah,
when
but
you
over
turn
there
18.
it's like you can drink in bars, you can vote, you can do everything as an adult.
Here you can vote and you can buy a pack of cigarettes. Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah, that's fun times.
Great times.
Well, this episode is legal and ready to vote.
Yes, and this is our social media episode.
Yes. Oh my
More
gosh.
or less.
So much to talk about. So tell me about your morning.
Yeah, my morning started out like every other morning. I made coffee. I had a cigarette.
Uh-huh.
I fed the dogs.
Yeah.
I drank my coffee.
Uh-huh.
And then it was time to go number 2 along with Facebook, because that's how my mornings are. And even though it's sad, it's really kind of strange and almost upsetting that you find out these days the people you know who have passed away and died, you find that out while taking a dump. Is that where the world is coming to?
Apparently so. I mean, that's really upsetting. I mean, most people first thing in the morning, they go to the bathroom, they more than likely take their phone or tablet with them so they can, review Facebook and see who liked their pictures and stuff like that. Or, people who use Facebook the right way are using it to see, what friends and family are up to and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think regardless, it's I do it in the morning. That's pretty much the only time a day I look at my Facebook. But people who are addicted to, it'll be one of those first thing in the mornings thing you do is look at your Facebook. And I guess that is the way today we find out that people we know have died while taking a dump.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, the craziest thing is actually not that it happened this morning. That's crazy enough in itself. But this has happened on several occasions now.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I have seen that, somebody's passed away while I was on the crapper. But that's kind of the norm. And my condolences to the family, actually.
Definitely. But it's just kind of, I don't know. I was thinking about it later. It's so weird that once upon a time you either got a phone call if it was a close friend or relative,
or the newspaper
or the news or whatever. But today it's like while we take our morning shit, our day turns to shit because someone we now know has passed.
And on that note, my bullshit.
Well, I just gotta jump in and say too, that some pretty cool things happened as well while taking a shit this week.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Yeah, so my brother, who we're gonna try and get on the show here sometime, probably over Skype.
Definitely need to get a hold of him.
Multi-fascinating person.
Yes.
A teacher, a rock musician, drummer, and volunteering in South Africa in some sort of wildlife preserve.
Uh-huh.
He was sitting in his hut or his little cabin or whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. And this elephant walked around right outside, and he got a video of that.
Yes, I saw that.
But what he forgot,
that was freaking amazing.
What he forgot to get a video of, but somebody got a photo of, is that elephant not only sniffed around outside and ate grass, it actually stuck his head in his door and was like, "Hey there, mister."
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Hopefully when we get him on here, we can get permission to post the pictures in our little dead slideshow.
Yeah, that would be cool.
For our YouTube viewers.
Yeah, because I saw the videos and I saw the pictures, and that was just amazing to be that close. Have that kind of close encounter with a wild elephant.
Yeah, and then I guess they were out driving I don't know if they were on a road or off-roading, but then did you see the picture of the lion?
Yes.
This roaring
I saw
lion
that
was
lion.
just apparently really close to the car.
Yeah, that, oh my God, my heart would be pounding.
So that was pretty cool to lighten up the take your first shit of the day topic.
Yeah.
Those are pretty cool, and hopefully we'll get him on the air here soon.
Hopefully. And so on that note, too, I'd like to go ahead and start our bullshit of the week.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Sure, go ahead.
Which is going to be I'm calling bullshit on the people that are like crying about Facebook selling their information to whatever firm or company or whatever it was.
In this particular case, I guess it was some sort of research institute, the Cambridge Research Institute, and they used it
for research purposes for marketing. It was for marketing.
That's the thing. It wasn't research.
It was for marketing,
and they targeted people.
And they used it for Trump's campaign, too.
Right. So basically, if you ran around screaming that you're Republican or reposting right-wing and Republican things,
more than likely your stuff was sold to that company.
Well, a bunch of people, friends I know who are as far away from that you could be, that are far left, even got a notification saying that, yeah, you were one of the people whose information we sold.
Ooh.
But what I'm saying is that they were talking about the advertising. I mean, if you're already a Republican or conservative or far right, and you get some, hey, vote for Trump, chances are you were going to vote for him anyways.
Right.
So, that being said, people, wake the fuck up. I don't understand what you're being so upset about. Social media, last time I checked, Facebook is quote-unquote free.
Yes.
As in, you're not paying. Well, we could. We as the Podsters is considered a business, so we could pay to get our posts seen more, etc., etc.
But we're not doing that.
No, first off, we're not doing it. But second of all, for your personal use, Facebook is free. Now,
how is Facebook to make money?
Right. Use your brains, people. They have advertisement, and it's not just Facebook when it comes to like targeted advertising. Google, everyone does it. Like, I spend my days, if I'm on Google, searching for music and guitar related things. So guess what my ads Google show me is?
Yeah, definitely. Then the same thing for me, you know, I'm looking for clothes online or something like that, and of course I get ads for, you know, different brands and stuff like that. I'm like, oh god, all these
but it's free, and these are companies. These are legit companies with employees that get paid money. They are hosting the servers that we play around on.
Right.
We're not paying a dime to these companies. So they are gonna make money somehow, and the way for them to make money is advertising. And today, the computers or data intelligence collection, whatever you want to call it, is smart enough to be able to target the commercials. Like 100 years ago, you saw commercials for a little bit of everything. You know, buy flowers, buy women's underwear, and you weren't interested. Now they see what you're searching for. So if you do a lot of makeup searches, etc., you're gonna get Mac advertisement and whatnot. That's just how it is, guys. Why are you being so upset that they sold your information to a company that was gonna use it for targeting campaign ads?
And not only that, those of you that are gullible enough to put so much information out there on Facebook,
oh my god,
you've got to be fucking kidding me. No,
I'm with you. I mean, people, we don't need to know that you checked in here, that you are there, that you took a dump there at what time. First off, we don't give a shit. And second of all, if you're dumb enough to put all that information out, what makes you think that it won't be used for you or against you, depending on how you see things in any way, shape, or form?
exactly.
I just don't get it. Wake up. Do you really need to post all that stuff to begin with?
Right. Yeah, I mean, you use Facebook properly. You know,
Well, and I mean, it's not just Facebook, I'm sure. You have Instagram, and you have that, what's that shit called? I hate.
Snapchat.
Oh, you people and your fucking filters. Oh, I'm gonna put glasses on and a little Mickey Mouse nose. I'm so
You know,
cute
and
now.
people are so fooled because, you know, they have privacy settings and only their friends or little networks are only able to see certain things and whatnot. But, you know,
The information is out there, and the company,
Yeah.
nowhere.
the company has those rights.
Yeah, nowhere does
See,
it
that
say in the
information.
user agreement rights when it comes to your privacy settings that they are not allowed to use it in any way, shape, or form. And besides, what's the big deal? If your information was sold and you come off as a staunch Democrat or left-wing person or something,
Yeah.
you didn't get the Trump ads anyways.
Right.
So really, people, stop complaining and maybe start using all this quote-unquote social media a bit wiser.
Right, exactly. Don't trust social media.
Don't
to
trust
begin
the
with.
companies behind it. I mean, for crying out loud, like I said, they're companies. They are going to make money one way or another. If you cry enough about how this is invading your privacy, chances are that one day they'll take all this ad stuff away and you're going to pay $20, $30 a month to use the service.
Right.
So, your choice.
Exactly.
I don't know, man.
Oh, so, you know, I was thinking about our last
Wow.
Okay. I was thinking about our last conversation on our podcast. So did the Queens of the Stone Age ever reach out to you or anybody representing them?
No. It's been dead silent.
Ah, darn. I wish I could have taken that call for like Josh Holmes. Homie or whatever his name is.
Well, apparently they don't care.
Aw.
So, I don't care.
Okay. Well, you know, and on the same page of following up on our past podcasts and stuff, I was kind of
Broadcasts?
I said podcast.
We can rewind, but okay.
Yeah, so I was kind of discussing one of our podcasts with a coworker, which was on Orion's Dong.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I was trying to explain it to her and not in a way so it's not offensive in the workplace and stuff. You know, and I keep telling her to listen to the podcast, but I don't think she's into podcasts. Anyhow, you know, it was sad that I had to explain how I came to the realization that
we've been lied to.
we've been lied to our whole lives, and that
It's
ancient
not his
astronomers
sword, it's his
actually
dong.
saw Orion's sword as Orion's dong instead, and to clean it up in the classrooms to teach it to other people, they're like, oh, let's just make it a sword.
Right?
Let me ask you something. Is there anything that you can think of that you've been lied to your entire life about and you just realized you were lied to your whole life?
If you have such a thing, let us know. Comment on this podcast on SoundCloud or YouTube, or go to our Facebook page and let us know. Or you can email us at thepodsters@gmail.com, and that's the podsters with a Z.
Yeah, I'd like to know. I mean, and I love other people's perspective on things. You know, in that same day, we had another coworker who was like, I didn't know. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't remember the issue or what it was that he had been lied to about his whole 31 years of life. But I was just like, oh, he had one of those epiphany moments.
That's awesome. Yeah, let us know what yours is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be so the smallest little thing to the biggest mind-blowing thing. Let us know.
You know what's kind of sad and what I miss?
What?
Speaking of how you had to explain things. Mm-hmm. I miss being able to, well, apart from having them with you, I miss having intelligent, interesting conversations with people.
Right. I feel like most
it's-
of my day is filled with like small talk and stupid stuff.
I don't know if it's the location we currently live in, or if it's like a worldwide phenomenon that people's brains have just shrunk to.
Turned into mush, maybe.
Yeah, unless it's sports or the latest tweet from some celebrity that we
Right.
don't even know about.
Yeah.
That could be maybe a 2-minute conversation, but I miss long, intelligent.
That's why I crave the news so bad, because nothing interesting is said to me throughout the day unless it's something that I find freaking hilarious.
Yeah, with news, I guess
But-
we almost mean PBS news, because even the local news is very like narrow,
Yeah, it's very it's local.
right?
It's very locally
I don't know.
based.
It was
and
interesting because we were even talking about it the other day, how the lack of intelligent, interesting, fascinating conversations are absent.
that's why I cringe every time I walk into the break room, because I can hear other people's conversations, and it's more than likely a conversation about their grandchildren,
Sports.
sports, or my
Rumors
baby
and
daddy,
gossip and-
my
yeah.
baby daddy this, my baby daddy that, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, I don't care. I don't want to hear your conversation. And those people that talk really loud in a small break room, that really irritates the shit out of me. Use your fucking inside voice.
Yeah, that's another thing. And you know what? That's like millennials and the generation after them.
I know.
You guys don't have an indoor voice.
They-
You always have to talk like this. But guess what? You're not the most interesting or important person in the world.
Yeah. I hear it a lot with a lot of the millennials, and it's just like, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. I don't care about your little decoupage projects or your
Or your baby daddy.
and stuff. It's just like it's a very like one-sided me conversation.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of miss the whole being able to have an intelligent,
Yeah.
lasting, interesting conversation with people.
Yeah, and
It
then
was
the
kind
other
of cool though. You told me that there's apparently, and when I first heard it, that's the reason I'm bringing it up. I thought it sounded really stupid, but then I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. You told me about a place was it in Austin,
okay.
where you have to like ring a doorbell?
Oh yeah, it was a coworker of mine was telling me about this place in Austin where I think it's called
I don't know.
Midnight Cowboy or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. It had a really funny name.
Yeah, it was like Midnight Cowboy or Cowboys, one of the two. And it's apparently very hidden on 6th Street, which is 6th Street is like one of the biggest party streets in Austin.
It's bar after bar after bar after bar.
Bar, music, whatever, and so this is a discreet location apparently on 6th Street where you have to go buzz.
Yeah, you get buzzed in, and then you're not allowed to have cell phones?
Well, first you have to, the only way you can actually get in is if you have a reservation. So you have to buzz the door person to come and get you. You have to give them your reservation code, and then they'll allow you in. And the rules of this bar is to have no cell phones. You can't make unwanted advances to other patrons in the bar, or you would be asked to leave. You can't be rowdy. You can't be loud. You have to talk with your inside voice. And I'm like, man, this place sounds like a freaking drag to me. But then again, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind chilling at a place like that.
That's how I thought it first. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then I started thinking about our conversation about intelligent, meaningful conversations and how it bugs the shit out of me that everywhere you go, people need to have a TV on. And on top of that, like when you're supposed to socialize, the TV needs to be blaring loud. And then everybody that's there to quote unquote socialize sit on their fucking cell phones.
Right.
So I started thinking about it and went like, man, I bet you that place is really interesting.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. And I'll find out soon enough how that little excursion goes for my coworker. And then, after coming home yesterday and just being a little frazzled by my coworkers and stuff, I nerded out on PBS. Mm-hmm. And for the life of me, I didn't even really check to see what the name of the show was, but it was just kind of like a conversation between three people, and this one guy was talking about how he has dinner parties. And at these dinner parties, he invites people that he doesn't know, and they're all from different backgrounds, and they discuss different issues. One of the rules, or a couple of the rules of the dinner party, is you can't argue a point. You can't raise your voice. You have to listen to everybody's, what you have to listen to what they're saying. And all they want is for you to give your perspective on things. And that's, oh my gosh, I love that. I love to hear people's different perspectives on different issues. And it's just like, that's what I love the most. And it's either, something to enlighten me with or something that I can laugh at later on, Right. And I don't know if that is an American thing or if this is like a new thing too. The few times you kinda near yourself having an interesting conversation with people never get to talk to finish. It's always like people trying to top each other, and whoever is the loudest kind of wins. A one-upper conversation.
Yeah, that bugs the shit out of me too.
I can't stand that.
I'm used to having conversations where even if your point takes 2 minutes to get across, you have those 2 minutes, and when you're done, the next person can chime in or oppose or whatever.
And that's what I loved when I talked to your parents. When they were here visiting and stuff, it was like very nice because they would hear me out on what I would have to say, and then they would give their perspective or a comment on it, and it was just like a back and forth lovely conversation, and I loved it because it's hard to have conversations like that with people these days.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know if it's an American thing or if it's the whole new generation, new technology that does
I think it's the technology. I mean, and we all are guilty of it. I mean, a lot of us just, have our phones on standby in certain situations when you just don't feel like interacting with somebody. You bring out your cell phone and you start, messing around with it. Like, let's just say doctor's offices and stuff like that. You're sitting in the waiting room waiting to see the doctor, and there's other people in the waiting room. What do? Either you pull out a magazine, or you more than likely will pull out your phone to either, check out the social media or play games on your phone.
Which in a doctor's office, like you said, because there's always been sort of magazines there.
Yeah.
I can understand that you do the magazine reading on your phone, so to speak. But it bugs me when people are, let's all get together. Let's all go to the bar. Let's all hang out. And then there's 8 people on their fucking phones. And it's silence.
And like 2 people, either like 2 people talking, but it's only like, it's their conversation. You can't really like chime in on it. And, I am one of the most antisocial people in the world. And I find it hard to deal with these people that just are very antisocial and just stare at their cell phones all the time.
The thing is, I've for a long time, I've been like, yeah, we're antisocial.
I can deal with people being awkwardly antisocial. I can deal with that shit, but I cannot deal with people fucking bringing out their cell phones all the time.
But see, and that's the thing. I don't think that I'm antisocial, because if I think back on situations, back in the day when, like, if we played a show somewhere with a band and you hung out afterwards before cell phones.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be around talking to people.
Yeah.
Having conversations with people. So I don't think that I'm antisocial. I think it's this new society and way of living that has made me just not give a shit. Because if you're going to hang out with me and all you can do is sit and look on your phone, you're not interesting to me at all.
Right.
Or if all you can do is talk half sentences and it's all about the weather, your work, your baby daddy, or sports, yeah, I'm sorry, you're not interesting to me. So I don't think it's so much that I'm shy or antisocial. It's just, why bother? You're obviously happier looking at funny cats or taking pictures and putting glasses on, like filter shit on yourself. Then you don't need me be there.
Yeah, and I want to see that there are more like organizations that have probably social networking parties and whatnot. And I think they are they're setting up rules to not have your cell phones out while you're at these social events or whatever, just so that, because you're there to mingle, you're there to interact
but I think
with
it's
other
so
people.
sad that it's even come to the point where you have to point it out to people.
Right.
Like if we go to dinner, and it don't matter if it's just you or me, or if it's us and family.
I can guarantee you there's always somebody like at the next table taking selfies or pictures with each other.
Yeah, but my point is I don't do that. I make it a point to not run for my phone. Or same thing, if the phone rings and we're having dinner, I'm not dropping everything to run to my fucking phone, because nothing in the world, and I mean nothing, is that important. There was a time that I can remember where if you weren't home, people couldn't get a hold of you.
Right.
I didn't even have an answering machine for the longest time. It meant that if you wanted to get a hold of me, you had to catch me when I was home. And guess what? I was never stressed or worried when I wasn't home that maybe somebody couldn't reach me. So I think this whole jump for your phone is complete bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, and I find it funny that people jump for their phone when they get a phone call and they don't even know who's calling, because then they don't recognize the number, but they'll still answer the phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, geez, what the hell is so important for you to answer the phone like that?
I don't get it. That whole obsession with virtual reality, it's above and beyond me. You guys, there's a real reality around you. Take in the moment.
Yeah.
Watch the sunset.
Yeah, take a break, smell the roses. You know, go outside and look at the clouds and see what shapes they make.
The dumbest thing is that there's actually people who'd rather stay indoors and watch somebody else have and take a video of clouds and post it on YouTube. I mean, do something yourself, people. Wow. And let's wreck the studio.
Yeah. Sorry, I was laughing too hard.
So, yeah.
You guys, listen to us. I don't mind you listening to podcasts. Podcasts are actually, if you can find a good one, they're very interesting and enlightening, and help you get through your day when you're listening to my work and stuff. But you know what? Freaking put your cell phones down. Put Facebook away. I've noticed that a couple of times where I've just, because I'm bored or I can't focus or something, I just pull out my phone and start scrolling through Facebook, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I don't want to see this crap, so I put it away, and then I bring it out again later on, and I'm like, oh shit, I did the same thing. It's just out of habit. It's almost like a reflex. The second that you're uninterested in something, the second that you can't focus, the second that you get distracted and you pick up your phone, it's like Facebook. I'm not doing that anymore. Sorry if I don't like certain things that you post and stuff like that. It's just not my cup of tea.
No, the simple reason I'm not out there liking everything you do is that I don't look at it. I spend my days doing things.
Do you ever feel guilt for not liking certain posts
Not at all.
that people post?
Not at all. Because I'm on Facebook because I live hundreds of millions of miles away from home. Mm-hmm. Phone home.
Okay, E.T.
And I basically use Facebook to keep up with old friends and acquaintances from across the pond in Europe. So chances are that if you did something local, you'll tell me about it. I don't feel the need to sit and watch and like. I scroll through most of my Facebook feeds until I find elephants that my brother just met.
Yeah, I pretty much do that too.
I never feel guilty for not liking things.
For some reason,
my life is, I post things for my friends back home to see. And that's the reason I do it. I don't live to get, 1 million likes or something.
Right.
And since I don't do that, I don't feel the need to like people's posts just because they're on my friends list. I never feel guilty about it. Never.
I don't know. Maybe it's the Catholic guilt or something. I don't know. I'm always feeling guilty if I don't like somebody's post because their kid had a birthday or whatever. But, I'm just kind of, I guess, doing a Facebook detox right now. And
that's good.
I really don't care.
No. No, but I mean, we could have spent all day today on Facebook. Or we could have done what we did. We had a productive day.
Yeah.
Cleaning, laundry,
and on
yard
that note,
work,
and on
guitar
that
building. And on that note...
Are you done? Are you done?
I don't know.
Are you done bragging about yourself?
And on that note,
guys, put your fucking cell phones down and go have a nice day or awesome evening. I don't know. Just do something productive.
Just do it.
Just do it.
And for our musical friends listening to this podcast, have you heard the latest in the whole Gibson debacle?
I did hear a little something about that, but I think you should elaborate on it.
So, news this week, and it certainly doesn't look good for Gibson. Somehow, it's such an old company that have done so many prestigious things that even though I know they're on the brink of extinction in the shape they're at right now, because I don't think as a brand they'll ever go away, but as a true company, I always go like, when I see something Gibson, they came up, they did something. They're trying to pull out of this mess. And every time I get disappointed. This week, they lost their distributor for Gibson, which means Gibson and Epiphone as well, in Australia. That means... What? Yes. First off, Australia, yes, it is sort of a little bit on its own, tossed in,
It's out there.
It's out there. And... people both in Europe and here aren't fully aware of what's going on there, but they are a big country. They have a lot of people living there.
Yeah.
And the major guitar brands people actually use there is Fender, so Fender and Squier, and Gibson, Gibson and Epiphone. Gibson now has lost their distributor for Australia, and that means that the only guitars the Australians can get their hands on now in terms of Gibson and Epiphone is whatever the local music stores have in stock.
Oh, wow.
After that, there will be no more Gibsons in Australia.
That's crazy. So would they have to order from stores and have them shipped all the way over there, or?
Well, yeah, right. Yeah, they could do that. But
can you imagine the shipping on that, and then the condition of the guitar by the time it gets there?
Yeah, I mean, that alone. Plus, another interesting fact is that just because you sell Gibsons, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are allowed by Gibson to post them online.
Oh, yeah.
So and here's another fun fact, bring up an even bigger mess. That would be okay, maybe, if Gibson themselves sold their guitars on their own website? Guess what? They don't.
What?
Yeah. So it's a whole mess. You're talking about this huge company that they do not sell their own product on their website. They sell it to select dealers, and that select dealers means people that can fork out a lot of money and adhere to a bunch of crazy, it's almost like Scientology rules to be a Gibson distributor or retailer. It's almost like that bullshit some people pulled when they owned clubs way back. That, you didn't get paid really, but you should be real proud to have played my place because so-and-so played here a million years ago. We always said, fuck you, give us the money or we won't play. But Gibson still has that mentality that they're so hot-shotty that you can't just be a Gibson retailer because you want to. You have to fork out shit ton of money. But even then, you're not necessarily allowed to sell Gibson product on your website. It comes with even more requirements. You have to buy more inventory.
Yeah, I see how that works.
So chances are that the only Gibsons that will be available in Australia once whatever is new in store sells out would be second-hand used Gibsons and Epiphones. Now, that might not be the end of the world, you say. Oh, you didn't say it. But we're talking about a company that is in the hole $500 million.
Oh.
And they're basically saying, screw you to a huge market. They're going to let Fender basically take over this market. By not having a distributor.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and I don't understand, once again, the logic or the lack of logic on Gibson's end. They're giving up potential money coming in, which is what they need. They need to come up with, well, whatever they want in profit plus $500 million until July.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, it's not. But I mean, it certainly won't happen when you just say, like, well, bye, guys.
Right. Yeah, it seems like they're just kind of like giving up too soon.
I think so. That's what it sounds like to me.
But, I mean, can you imagine being in the hole $500 million?
No, I would have.
How does that happen? And, like, how do you allow it to happen that way?
You got a CEO that shouldn't be a CEO. His whole thing was to turn, because it's all about profit, right? And his train of thought to create profit was to be inventive. And the truth is, at least guitar players, I don't know about other people playing other instruments, but guitar players are very traditional. They want their guitars to look a certain way. They want them to perform a certain way.
Right.
They're not interested in having preamps built into guitars or the guitars tuning themselves. It sounds like cool ideas if you're not a guitar player.
Right.
Like in theory, and I was thinking about that too. I mean, there's times when you play a guitar that you love, but it goes out of tune all the time, and you kind of go, oh man, it would be so awesome if this just stayed in tune automatically. But when it really is reality, you go, I don't want that shit. That's stupid. So basically, I mean, the CEO spent a lot of money coming up with inventions that are useless. And he also he wasn't satisfied with having Gibson as a guitar maker. He wanted to make it into a, what do they call it? Like a lifestyle company, a lifestyle brand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they went in and did a lot of, they tried to get into the home entertainment market. So like other electronical gadgets than guitars. Yeah. They didn't even go for like what might have made a little bit of sense, guitar.
Well, now I can see why they're in the hole.
Yeah. They should have maybe gone into amplifiers and effect pedals.
Right, yeah, that would have been the most reasonable thing to do. Right,
they ditched that. They went in, they bought, I don't think it's Philips, but there's another Philips technological company. They went in and bought that, and that was just a loss. They did a lot of, instead of focusing on producing high quality guitar and instrument stuff, they went all off the rails and basically wanted Gibson to turn into, something every man wears on his t-shirt kind of thing, a lifestyle brand, and that's why they're in the hole. But I mean, it's not like they're trying to get out of the hole. It's like they just keep handing themselves shovels and go dig deeper, dig deeper.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's really interesting.
I don't know what you guys have to say about that.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that.
Yeah, question to our musical friends. Do you think Gibson will make it out of this alive, or do you think that it will just be left as a logo, a brand?
Do you think somebody's going to buy them out for sure?
I mean, for sure somebody's going to buy them out just because, just like with McDonald's, it's a brand name. But the thing is, I think if that happens, some Japanese or Chinese corporation will buy him for the brand, and Kiss making instruments in America goodbye. They're probably going to start making them in Vietnam, and
the quality's going to really go to shit.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know why, but the fact is a lot of people want American-made guitars for nothing more than the sake that they are made in the USA. And once they're not made in the US anymore, it's not going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm talking for a lot of people, the quality, because the quality right now is shit. So, I mean, if price goes down and quality goes up, I still think a lot of people won't dig it. That they're going to start demanding humbucker pickups and fenders and buy the American-made fenders. Or maybe go to... There's a lot of small little guitar builders out there in the US.
Yeah, there are, yeah.
And I think people might start seeing them as the viable option. But no, I mean, I don't think that if Gibson goes into bankruptcy here in July, that the brand will just die and never come back. We'll see instruments with that logo on the headstock for sure, but it won't be the same. So what do you guys think? Do you think that they'll make it through, or do you think that they'll just remain as a logo? Let us know. And on that note, I think it's time to bid you guys adieu.
Adieu. Au revoir.
Auf Wiederschnitzel. Till next week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.